What's good, everybody? All right, so it's your boy GD, the sports actor, and we're just going to jump right into it. That game by the New York Giants yesterday was abysmal. It was an abysmal game. That game was just another. It felt like last season. It just felt like a continuation of what we saw last season. I mean, there's several ways that it looked similar to last season, even though a lot of changes that we've been talking about were made. New coaching staff, new players, sense of a new identity through the passing game, not requiring, on Saquon and his legs and everything from the backfield and just pushing it forward and trying to be more explosive. We didn't see any of that. And I think we can finally come to the terms that Daniel Jones is the issue. And I don't want to say it in the sense that I want to continue beating up, Daniel Jones. I saw him walking out of the tunnel, out of the game, and there were a couple fans who stood by and waited for him, and they called him Daniel Pennies. You had a lot of people asking, was this warranted? Yes, it is warranted. I mean, we've had Daniel Jones. We've been suffering through Daniel Jones for the last 6 years. This is not his rookie season. He had a great 2022, fell off tremendously last year, and we just saw something that it was just horrible, okay? And we're going to get into it. We're going to break down what exactly we saw. Before we do that, we have another game tonight, New York Jets versus the San Francisco 49ers. New York Jets versus the 49ers. I'm going to say that the 49ers are going to take this one. It'll be interesting to see if the Jets can keep their own quarterback upright through Aaron Rodgers taking on that San Francisco defense. So that game is tonight, 5:15 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So let's get into it. As I said before, Daniel Jones is the issue. I mean, the balls that were coming out were just so bad. A lot of the balls were behind the receivers. A lot of them were underthrown or thrown to the ground. You might as well have put a scene of Good Will Hunting there where Robin Williams and Matt Damon are sitting by the lake chucking rocks, because that's all Daniel Jones was doing. He was skipping rocks the whole time. The ball needs to be in the air, and yet it was meeting the ground first before it got to the receivers. And in that same breath, I just want to say shout out Wandell, because I thought that he did great, especially in the middle of the field, attempting to catch a lot of these balls that were thrown down to the ground. I just want to say that the play calling from Brian Dable, I just don't understand. It looked just as stale as last year. And partially to his defense, I really do feel like he wanted to make certain plays and do certain things with the offense, but you could just tell that he wasn't giving it to Daniel Jones. A lot of checkdowns, a lot of things that just didn't make sense, and I feel like he just didn't trust Daniel to do anything spectacular than what we've already seen. And that just sucks that your head coach, your fans, do not trust and believe in the quarterback. I mean, Daniel still has the locker room. He still has his teammates. Dexter Lawrence, who stepped up and, said some words. And Dexter Lawrence is right. I am going to say this is only game one of the season. I'm not going to say, drill too much about what happened in the past, because every season is a new season. And we're just 0-1 right now. There's a lot of football left to play. But from what we saw, it was just no improvement. Still making the same, boneheaded decisions, getting interceptions, getting pick sixes, and just not playing smart football at all. And, I really believe that the Giants should have switched quarterbacks at the half. We have 2 other QBs on the roster. 3 QBs, okay? We kept 3 for a reason. When one isn't working out, let's go grab the other 2 and see what they can produce, especially after the whole first half where Daniel Jones could have shown at any point in time that he was still in this game, but he was checked out. He was checked out. And it's just ridiculous that the Giants just continued to, force the issue, keep him out there, let him get tackled while he was out there, knowing that in the contract, if he gets hurt, we're going to suffer through our market cap space. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Another thing that I want to talk about is where's Jalen Hyatt? I don't see Jalen Hyatt at all. There was, I believe, maybe 1 or 2 balls that were thrown his way. One slightly behind, but did hit his hands, and he dropped the pass. I don't see any incredible route running or any moments where you're creating your own pockets, knowing what's going on with Daniel. I feel like the wide receiver room needs to help him out a little bit more. This is where you step up and be just a little bit more elite. You help your QB out because nobody is getting open. You understand the fact that Daniel Jones, for some reason, who has time to pass the ball, the pocket is doing great. Andrew Thomas doing great. Greg Van Roten doing great. I thought JMS did incredibly well, especially coming off of an injury, off of his rookie season. He looked strong against the Vikings. And it just does make sense. Illuminor, he looked good. I thought, there were a couple times where the defender got past him and a couple pressures might have come from his side. Those will get cleaned up. I'm not too worried about that. John Runyon, I thought he did well too. But for the most part, the offensive line gave Daniel Jones time to make the appropriate plays, and he just didn't capitalize on any of it. And it's just crazy. And to think that, we have an understanding that we're trying to become more of a pass offense, but it seemed as if we were trying to become more of a pass offense or let Daniel Jones run offense. And guys, if they didn't tell you in that war room, I'll let you know, Daniel Jones is not Lamar Jackson. We're talking about, I wrote it down here, I believe we were on maybe a 4th and 2, maybe a 4th and 3, and we decided instead of running the ball with Singletary, who played well, I thought Devin Singletary did well during this game. Instead of running the ball with him, we decide that we are going to do maybe an RPO or direct pass to Daniel Jones, and he's going to run it in for the first down. That didn't happen because he just got slammed immediately on actually no gain. So I just don't understand what's going on. Another thing I'd like to point out, we need Jacob Johnson. We need the fullback. I felt like our offense ran a lot better when we had the fullback there. Felt like the runs opened up a little bit more. I felt like the passes presented themselves a little bit more with a little bit more security. But instead, we're doing a 12-man personnel, putting 2 tight ends on the line just so that they can block. That's not what we should be doing. We should be putting an 11 personnel out there, giving Daniel Jones more wide receiver, more receiving players out there so that he can pass the ball. Between Slayton, Malik Neighbors, Theo Johnson, Wandell, Jalen Hyatt. I don't understand why we're having 2 tight ends play just so they can be extra offensive linemen. It doesn't make any sense to me, and it's just not good football. I don't like it at all. I don't like it at all. Some of the good things that I will say with the offense that I did really enjoy, I'd say is Malik Neighbors looked like a boss out there. Malik Neighbors looked great. I thought his yardage could have been a lot more than what he walked out with. If we look at it, I'd say, let's see, Malik Neighbors ending the game, 5 receptions, 66 yards, an average of 13.2 yards. And I think the longest one was a 25-yard throw and catch from DJ to Malik Neighbors, which was awesome to see. I really do see a lot of potential with Malik Neighbors, but I don't want to see it squandered because of the incompetence coming from our QB. Because that's exactly what's going to happen. You're going to waste away the rookie year of Malik Neighbors. You're going to cause resentment. It's going to cause issues. Same thing as OBJ all over, and we're going to lose a top prospect all because you want to side with the QB for some reason, and you don't want to get it out of your head that maybe Daniel Jones just isn't that guy. Because he's not. Unfortunately, he's not. We've been rooting for him. We want to root for him, but it's just not translating well at all. Because even when you watch him play, okay, it's just something right now that just seems to be blocking him where there's no confidence. He has time in the pocket, but already he's thinking about a sack. Already he's playing as if the pocket was collapsing immediately. I saw it plenty of times. And even when he backs up, getting ready to pass and looks at a couple of his options, he literally does just stare down the one option he wants to go to right from when he hikes the ball. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's literally hike. DJ, we all saw you looking over there. At least, try to fake it out. Try to look at the ground even. I don't know. Look up at the sky, at the sun. Do something different. Because it's just ridiculous that you literally do laser eyes. And, most of the time it's not even a beam that seams in there or gets anywhere close to where the receiver needs it to be. So I don't even know what the stare down's for. I don't know if it's just fear in your eyes, just like when we're in the interviews, post game. But, bro, you got to get it together. You really do. And so, I just want to shout out Malik Neighbors. I really think he's going to do well, especially if this gets, our offense QB gets corrected. I really do see a lot of potential, maybe over 1,000 yards. I have him going for Offensive Rookie of the Year. And it's just going to take Daniel Jones to help him out to get there because he can't throw and catch the ball at the same time. Now moving over, let's talk a little bit about the defense, okay? Because the defense was a little bit, I just don't understand what was going on with the defense. When we first started the game, we played strong. I mean, we created a fumble, for God's sake, and brought the ball all the way down to the red zone and just unfortunately couldn't convert. We walked out with 3 points instead of 7, and we really have to fix that. In the whole first quarter, we didn't score one touchdown. We didn't the whole game, not one touchdown. And that's the same thing that happened last year. We're playing games this isn't rugby. What's up with this kicking? I don't understand why we're just so reliant on field goals like that's going to win us games entirely. It's not. And so defense, you have to understand that what's happening right now, we need a little bit more effort from you. The defense can't just be unguardable. One of the best defenses only when Dexter Lawrence is out there. Other guys have to step up too. I mean, it's ridiculous, especially our secondary. Allowing Justin Jefferson to get that cross play across the field. Allowing Justin Jefferson to get, a touchdown for Jordan Addison, and it's not like these guys went off. They just made great plays when it mattered. When they needed to convert, when they needed to convert over that third down, they were able to. When they needed to get a little bit closer to the first, they were able to. And it's just, come on, guys. We're shooting ourselves in the foot because we're not tackling clean. We're playing loose and we're not defending well. There's no pressure that was coming on Sam Darnold for almost the whole second half. I don't understand. Brian Burns, where were you? Kayvon Thibodeau, where were you? Some of you guys really have to step up because I didn't see any pressure coming from the first four besides, Dexter Lawrence. Yes, Brian Burns was there on a lot of, tackles for stopped a lot of, things that could have broke on the outside, but pressure to the QB was not there. And you got to have pressure to the QB because as you can see, if you're a QB in the NFL and you have time to throw the ball like you're playing 7-on-7, then yes, you can complete passes and you can get things done. But the Giants, we need the front line. We need the front four, not the front seven, because the linebackers I thought did great. Drew Phillips did great playing that slot corner. These guys I thought were exceptional. But if we're talking about the front four, they were non-existent, and that's an issue that definitely has to be cleaned up. So I just want to give my list of shout-outs and call-outs. We'll start out with the shout-outs. We're going to shout out Tyler Nubin. The rookies did well. You guys looked really, really clean. Tyler Nubin, just big tackles, just way to stop the run and way to have a good eye for the ball in the field. I really like what I saw out of him. Drew Phillips as well, great tackler, strong tackler, created that forced fumble that Bobby Okereke was able to pick up. Next, Bobby Okereke, Dexter Lawrence, Dane Belton, Devin Singletary, JMS, Malik Neighbors, Wandell. And then that's it for my shout-outs list. For my call-outs list, I'd like to call out Nick McLeod. Buddy, you got to get it together. I know you're not CB1 material. You're not. You're a backup. But you aren't. You are non-existent, and you got to play better, okay? I'm sick and tired of seeing the back of your jersey, and you're not doing anything. Deonte Banks, come on, man. Got to play a little bit better. I saw some things that looked a bit questionable where JJ, you're going to be guarding a lot of the top receivers. So you're going to get scrutiny after the games if these guys do get a touchdown, even though you kept, like I said, these guys were kept to nothing amazing. I mean, Justin Jefferson, 4 receptions, 59 yards. I think, you covered pretty well, but that one TD, average of 14.8, he had the big ones when it mattered. You got to play harder defense on that. Jason Pinnock, come on. A lot of the balls that were getting aired out, those are your responsibilities. Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, Jermaine Illuminor, Jalen Hyatt. You got to clean up a lot of things from you guys as well. And so these are some of the things that I saw. One other shout out I'd like to give would be to Adoree Jackson. I thought that he played well. That defensive pass interference, I really don't think that was a call that should have been made. I really thought that he was lined up perfectly and the ball was underthrown anyway, and he really didn't get in the way of that ball at all. But calls are going to be made that are for us and calls are going to be made that are against us. But just a shout out to him as well. And lastly, for call outs, we're going to call out Brian Daboll because we expect a lot better from the play calling. We expect you to lead DJ and help him out, knowing some of the struggles that he's going through right now. We got to clean it up. That's just how I see it. So this is another episode after the Minnesota-New York Giants game, 100th season opener. Didn't quite go the way that we wanted to, but we're going to be going into this week, hard practice, watch some of these interviews. Hopefully these guys watch the film, as they've been saying in these interviews, and take game one seriously, make the necessary adjustments, and we come out and we take the frustration and destroy the Washington Commanders, as we usually do. So looking forward to that game to give us a little bit of redemption. But yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. And we'll be here for the next one for sure. This is your boy, GD, the sports actor, where we talk a little bit about sports, talk a little bit about acting, and appreciate you guys. Thanks.